When someone close to you loses a loved one, what's better to say than I'm sorry? Sometimes saying nothing at all and just sitting near them in silence so that they know they aren't alone is better than saying anything. The best thing is to listen instead of trying to think of the perfect words to make it better. When my parents passed, 12 days apart, I heard all the platitudes to the point I could blow chunks. A high school friend simply said I'm sorry, and I found that to be the most impactful thing said to me. I faced this yesterday. My partner found out his friend he'd known for over 10 years passed unexpectedly. I continued to say I'm sorry, but I also scratched and massaged his head, his favorite thing, and mostly stayed quiet. A hug. One of my friends lost her dad a year ago. I lost mine 3 years ago. I went up to her and just hugged her, giving her a note. The note said you are allowed to be sad for as long as you need. Just remember to not be sad forever. Your dad would love to see you smile and be happy. She still has that note and it's pinned to her desk. Feral yell and a bear hug. When I lost my husband, the last thing I wanted or needed to hear was I'm so sorry for your loss. Fuck you're sorry. I'm too angry. Hence feral yell. Bear hug cause I needed a fucking hug. What about at a funeral lineup? I can't get to the front of the line, say nothing and walk away. When an online friend's father died, I messaged her to offer my condolences and then said, tell me your favorite memory of him. She went on to talk/type about how he would always buy her younger self candy before their bus trips because she was scared of moving vehicles. The candy distracted her from her fear. I've said this to people whose first language is not English. Me, I'm sorry about your cousin. Them, why? It wasn't your fault. So yeah, something else would be great. I can tell you that I'm sorry and indefinitely better than some God has a plan shit. Fuck the people who try to tell you the death of your loved one and the pain you feel is God's plan. My best friend passed away last year and all I get is I'm sorry. She's not in pain anymore. She's in a better place. It's all part of God's plan. etc. And I got really sick of hearing it. Instead ask them if there is anything you can do to get their mind off it. Things like that. Plethora. I have free delivery on Just Eat. Pizza? Even if you don't, it just makes them feel like it's not that big an effort for you, so they are more likely to accept. Try to personalize it with a memory. Deceased taught me how to be comfortable in my own skin. I will never forget him/her. To this day, I still practice their advice on how to X. In the case of parents who lost a child, I thanked them for the time I got to spend with their kid. This doesn't work for everyone obviously, but I thought it was better than I'm sorry, because I really did get 30 wonderful years with their son and that was better than nothing. The traditional Jewish response is, may their memory be a blessing. This points toward asking them about their best memories of the departed. Then you listen. I always say I'm sorry for your family's loss, which is literally just what the title says but extrema. Saying nothing is the best thing you can say. Be quiet, listen to them. It's not about you. How can I help you? Nothing anyone can say other than I'm here for you. Just bring them some food. Also coming over to do laundry for the grieving. Tell me about how they were, although I'm sure this would affect different people differently. Damn, that sucks. This is suspiciously specific. You okay, op? Bring over a frozen pan of lasagna with cooking directions taped on. In my culture, you bring food to the house. Grieving people still need to eat, plus they probably have people over from out of town too. Nothing, I just want to be left alone for a while. I love you. You'll be okay. Blood for the blood god. I'm sure their skull will adorn the highest point on the throne. Don't say anything, just listen. I'll be there for you anytime you want. I've done a little research on this. In Toastmasters, we meet many wonderful fellow members, so we encounter more people who lose someone close. Do say I'm sorry, and also ask about a favorite memory or story about the person. Remembering and sharing good stories is a good thing. And just be there and listen. I'm here for you, whether you need me or not. This lets them know that you care about them, and will be there for them always. Duh. They got vectored. Hug them. For me, the best was my best friend who didn't even mention it, and talked to me like we always did. I may be weird though. When my wife died this year, all my brother did was look at me and gave me a hug. That was better than the hundreds of sorries. When my younger brother died in a car accident about 10 years ago, one of our friends camped at my house for a week or more, and I hope he knows how much it meant to me and how much he helped me just by being there. Being alone during that time was the absolute worst. Can confirm, people left me alone when my dad died. It's been a year, and I'm still upset people didn't come sit with me. It was awful. And bring food. I didn't have the energy to feed myself properly. Reminds me of some advice from a hospital chaplain. Don't just do something, stand there. Can I stop by and do the dishes or laundry or vacuum? This. I called my boyfriend at 12:30 am, just after I found out my dad passed away, and he came and got me. He let me just sit and cry with him for 3 days. It was the absolute best thing anyone could have done for me. Is it okay if I just stay with you and do nothing so much this? Agreed. I found out my grandma died through a phone call when I was in my favorite teacher's classroom during her planning hour. I told her what happened, and she came over with a box of tissues, hugged me, then sat with me. Her presence said more than words ever could. Don't just do something, stand there. I would like to add that, even for those of us who do, in fact, believe in God's plan, saying things like it was God's plan is not helpful in the beginning. It feels like criticism of your faith, because even if you believe they're right, you don't feel that way. My best friend lost her dad a few years back. I just said, I'm not going to say anything, because it will sound stupid and pointless, and just sat with her. She agreed and thanked me, because people were saying the typical things, and it was really starting to irk her. Told her my phone was on, and she could call me anytime. Or just simply ask them what they need. Even if it's just sweeping their floor or buying groceries.